Did you like it? Was it cringe? It was cringe, right? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here today. So as you can see, I have a new obsession which we will get into later. But before we get into this video, I just want to give you an update on what's been going on because I have been MIA on this channel for about 2 weeks now. Yeah, so there's really nothing special about it. I've just been in like a little bit of a reading slump and I haven't been able to read anything. So because it's me and I just can't stay still without doing anything, I ventured on to do other things. One of which was to watch a lot of TV and movies to catch up on like things that my friends have been recommending. That was my dog. My friends have been recommending to me and been bugging me to watch for like months now. And yeah, I finally caught up with them and I just wanted to share them here with you guys today. Yeah, so let's start with the TV because as you can see from the intro clip, I have a bit of an obsession these days. I don't think I've ever been... The last time I've been obsessed with a TV show was probably Arrow, and that was like a long time ago. Years ago, actually. And I haven't found a show that I loved this much in such a long time. And of course I'm talking about the Peaky Blinders. It's long overdue, like so many people have watched it already, but I started it a few weeks ago and I'm already on the last season. It's just so good. It's so amazing. Guys, I'm a sucker for gangster anything, okay? Books, movies, TV shows, and the Peaky Blinders is just... It's amazing in all the right ways and it's so perfect. The writing, the pacing, the characters, oh my god, the characters. It's just so good. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this is about. It's about the crime family in Birmingham called the Peaky Blinders, and it's basically about them going up the ladder and like making money in all the wrong ways for good reasons. But yeah, it's just a lot about its murder, drugs, the debauchery, and just everything I want in a show. And the writing is incredible. It's fast-paced. Right now I think season 2 and 4 were like the best ones because season 2 was about them going to London and how everything was so amped up compared to season 1 when he was just in Birmingham. And then season 4 is about the New York Mafia. So of course, yeah, this stars Cillian Murphy, and then from season 2 we get the great Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy just made everything so much better. Like, I didn't think it could get any better than that, but it did, and he's just fantastic. So the writer of the show, Stephen Knight, he describes Tom Shelby as a good man who does bad things to a good end, which essentially sums up the character. I don't really need to say anything to add anything more to that because that's who he is. And he's an anti-hero, of course, and you want to be on his, you want the viewers to be on his side when you're like creating a show like that. But and you do. See, that's the problem with the show, right? Like with all these flaws and stuff, you still root for him because you know he's a good man underneath all that, which I don't know how to explain it because he does very questionable things, especially his, not just him, his brothers as well. But I cried for one of them, and that's new because he's not a good person. I'm gonna stop talking about that because I can make a whole video just talking about how much I love this show. The next one I watched is a show called Raised by Wolves, which is on HBO Max. It's essentially a dystopian world where there are two fractions of humans, the believers and the atheists, and these believers worship Sol, the sun. So yeah, the story follows two androids, a male and a female, who are tasked with going to like a new planet and building a whole new generation of humans who are taught to be atheists. I haven't finished it yet. I think it's only one season, and there's like the season has ended. I only watched like a couple of episodes, but I do have to say what I did watch I really liked, and they set up a really good intro for like the whole series with the pilot, and you get introduced to like these new characters and the storylines. It's not easy to create like a good sci-fi show because oftentimes you miss out on this whole miss out on the fact that like androids aren't humans, right? And you try to give them these human emotions which they can't express because they're androids, and which I don't like. I don't like that that sort of stereotype, which I don't think the show is. Again, I haven't watched it, I haven't finished it, so I don't know. But yeah, it's something I've been watching these days. The next one I watched is the one everybody's talking about after the Emmys, and that was Schitt's Creek. And I had no idea about this show. I honestly didn't know that this existed, that this was a thing. People loved it, and I get it. I get the hype. It's such a great show. It's basically about this fucking rich family who loses everything and has to go to this motel in a very, very small town called Schitt's Creek, and basically trying to survive. So the creators of this show, Daniel and Eugene, Daniel actually said that the idea came to him that what would happen if these rich people suddenly lose everything they have, how would they survive? And throughout the show, that's exactly what happens. The things that they have to go through and basically live like normal people, which is like not an easy thing to do when you have had so much money. And I really like the writing and the character developments, like the story arcs that they have. There's like 6 seasons, and I'm only on season 3 or 4. Can't remember. I just keep watching them, and it's all been like this whole time. It's been about family, your sexuality, which is very, very beautifully represented in this show. And now they're moving into like the romance part of it, which is still new, and I still don't know what's gonna happen with that. But I really like the family aspect of it, like what happens when you all have to like stick together as a family, as opposed to like being in separate rooms in like a big old mansion. Anyway, that's all the TV shows that I've been watching, the new ones at least. And so let's go to the movies now. So the first one I want to talk about is The Platform. Now this is a Spanish psychological thriller, and let me tell you, it's a complete and total mindfuck, because it's essentially a prison, right? You can go into it, you don't necessarily have to commit a crime to go there. It's more like it's like an experiment basically, and you can volunteer to go into this hole that they call. It's essentially a prison with platforms, right? You have like different levels, and they don't tell you how many levels there are. There's about like 300 to 500, which is what they're assuming. And so in the middle of this level, there's an empty space shaped like a square, and then every day a platform is sent through this hole to feed the prisoners. Now this platform has like an array of delicious food, which is essentially made up of all the favorite dishes of every prisoner in the hole. So like whoever's on level 1 gets to eat it first, and then after like 30 minutes there's a siren, and it goes down to the next level and the next and the next. So it doesn't fill up again. You just have to eat off of whatever everybody else that's above you has eaten. So basically you're eating the leftovers, like everybody below level 1 eats the leftovers. And now the lower you get, the less food you have, right? So if you are on level 100 or on like 150, by the time the platform comes there's literally nothing there. Like the plates have been like leaked off basically. And every month it's like your levels change, right? Every month you get to like you wake up in a different level. Now if the first month you were on level 100, and then you go back lower, right, the next month for like, I don't know, level 140, that's when the hunger starts to like get to you, because you've been starving for basically like 2 months. And this movie shows you like the primal instinct of human beings to survive, which can lead to like cannibalism and murder and violence. Just, it's very gory. Yeah, so that's basically the gist of it. I don't know if I made sense to you, but you can go watch the trailer. It's really good, and I highly recommend you watch it, because if you're into that really dark shit, it's pretty great. The next movie that I watched is actually a documentary called The Social Dilemma, which is on Netflix, and it basically talks about how manipulative social media is and how it can become an existential crisis, right? The people who are actually explaining this stuff are the very people who created the problem, and it's just like people from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google, and it's not, I wouldn't say they're trying to scare you, right? They're trying to inform you about this, and I highly recommend you watch it. Like, if you take anything from this video, I recommend you watch it. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 50 years old, you can be 16. You have to watch it to understand it. I'm going to read something that they talked about in the documentary. This guy, Tristan Harris, who was a former design ethicist at Google, and he said it beautifully in this interview, right? He said, when you think about technology and it being an existential threat, it's not about technology being the existential threat, right? It's technology's ability to bring out the worst in the society, and that worst in society being the existential threat. So what they basically say is they hold these companies accountable. They want them to take responsibility, and they're demanding change, because it's actually terrifying to see the stats and the things that they show. Like there are actual, like, this doctor who came for this interview and said there are people who come to him asking to do plastic surgery so that they look like their Snapchat filters. Like, how screwed up is that? Because when the beauty standards are so high, you're held to this like ridiculous standard of beauty where it really doesn't exist. And what they're trying to tell you is that you can't beat the technology, right? You can't beat the AI behind your Instagram feed or your Facebook page. What you need to do is actively try to just turn it off for like before bed, or use the option that you can use for like your screen time. You can a timer on that, and then parents can have like a rule where they don't let kids use your devices before bed, or like an hour before bed. So stuff like that you can actually do. And a lot of these people who work in this industry says that we don't let our children have social media until they're 16, which is like the appropriate age for a kid to have technology or like to use social media. It's just a few examples that I'm telling you now, but it's an hour and a half long documentary, and I highly recommend you watch it, because it was just very eye-opening, and it's just a good taste of reality for all of us. Anyway, that is it, you guys. Hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, because I do plan to make videos every week now, as promised. They are coming. Until then, I will see you later.